Recording. Want to get some jumping jacks in there? Okay.
Merry Christmas to all.
And to all a good year.
Yeah.
Our last market update report for the year just came out and it's really boring. We have sales increase in Fort Myers of 2%
Overall from year.
sales price.
Prices.
Yeah, the number of sales are down 15%. The number of listings are up 15%, which is normal.
But the amount of listings usually goes up in this time, and it didn't go up crazy amount, so it kind of balanced it out the market
Right.
a little bit. So
Yeah.
our inventory is technically still in a seller's market,
Yeah.
approaching more of a balanced
Yeah.
number.
Exactly. Equilibrium, like 5 months overall for all of Southwest
Mhm.
Florida. What is it for Fort Myers? It is
5.5 months exactly.
5 months. So the average sales price in 2023 in Fort Myers is $495,000, which is up from 480,000 or something like that a year ago. So it has gone up a smidge. Some communities it's gone down. Some communities it's gone way up. It really depends because so many communities were affected by Hurricane Ian in different ways.
So that kind of skews the numbers.
Right. But the biggest difference I see in the market right now is just the pain that the monthly payment becomes for a financing buyer. You know, if you're financing a home, $800,000 home, and you've got this 7 or 8% interest rate, your monthly payment is probably around $7,000 or $8,000 a month.
With taxes and insurance
Yeah.
and all the other things.
Or more. And when you had a lower interest rate, even 5%, it would have been under $6,000 a month. So just that increase in that monthly payment from the interest rates has really pushed a lot of buyers on the sidelines. But I'm optimistic with hearing that the Fed is going to lower the Fed rate and the interest rates are expected to come down on mortgages.
And they actually did go down to the lowest last week that they had been since June.
I heard
last
about
year.
one rate that was 6.7%.
Yeah.
So that helps because then buyers who saved their down payment and didn't spend it on other things will come back and enter the market again and buy a home. And let's say the interest rates got down to below 6%, I think you'd see home values increase 10%. It would get exciting again. But the government's trying to control inflation and keep inflation curbed, and they're doing a good job of it, I guess.
Well, it's still not to the goal, but
So that's slowing down.
I think we'll know more like in January if the next time they have was it January 31st, I think. I think overall that in the spring is going to be a much more active market.
Right. Yeah, we have seasonality now. Like we stopped having seasonality in our real estate market during COVID, and it was just 500 miles an hour nonstop until June of 2022. So I think we'll see some real seasonality this winter.
So when they always say the spring market is better, I think we're going to see the true definition of that this spring.
All right, let's look at some of the other markets. So we have the Cape Coral market. All right, Cape Coral market, the average sales price in Cape Coral is down a little over 5% to $476,000, and they're at 6 months supply. Let's take a look at in Pine Island, the average sales price is down 21%.
I think that was because of the storm.
Sanibel Captiva, we're seeing the prices down 29% from last year, from what's sold, you know, to the previous 12-month period. Fort Myers Beach, the average sales price is down, but only 3%.
And it had the most damage.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good place to invest.
Fort Myers, it's up about 2%. Bonita Springs, Estero, prices are down 13%. Marco Island up 8%. Naples is up 3%. And all of Southwest Florida in general, it's up about 2%. So Fort Myers is right in line with the overall Southwest Florida market being up about 2%. In all of Southwest Florida, when you consider Naples, Marco Island, Sanibel, Fort Myers, Cape Coral, Pine Island, Matlacha, everything, the average sales price is about $790,000. So this is a big change from the trajectory before, where we were seeing from 2019 to 2020, 21 to 22, we saw these price increases of 10, 20, 30% year over year. Not sustainable, crazy increases, but also crazy inflation. And now we're starting to see that slow down to a normal pace. So this is normal. This feels normal.
So let's talk in short, what does that mean if you are going to list your home?
Okay.
What should you expect?
You should
Reality.
expect to spend several weeks, if not months, on the market before the right buyer comes across you. And that buyers are not asking anymore after you've been on the market for 3 or 4 weeks, what's wrong with this house? Stop. And that buyers are making offers that are below asking, that might include some concessions, that will include a normal inspection period and some repairs. And it's just more normal.
That you should still prepare your house to have the best presentation possible.
Right. And hit the price right. Like, don't overprice your home, because buyers have more options. So the price increases experienced in 2020, 21, 2022 are a thing of the past, and buyers have more options today than they have at any point over the last few years. So you want to put your best foot forward. And we were also looking at these charts. So we're going to pull up this graph here on the screen and talk about what has led to the situation. Like, how does it make sense for the number of sales to be way down, number of new listings to be way up, but the prices are still stable, and we're still saying there's some sort of a housing shortage? Well, if you look at this graph, it shows you that in a normal market, which we're saying normal is pre-2020, there were on average like 11,000 or 10,500 new homes brought to the market, and only 5,500 of those sold each year, just on average. It was pretty consistent. About 50% of the homes that are listed are sold. But we start to see in 2020 that changes, and then in 2021 the number of sold homes is greater than the number of listed homes. The market gobbled up everything that was new on the market, plus the old
left.
stuff. Yes, there was nothing left. Very little.
With everything wrong with it and all, and no inspection.
No appraisal, 100,000 over asking. So that's totally over. And when we're left with a situation where now we're getting back to that normal, but even if you look at 2023, we don't have double the number of new listings as what is sold. It's still more like the 2020.
I think that's kind of part of people don't want to give up the good interest rate that they had. That's another factor, because they're thinking about taking that next step. They're thinking what's out there, what they can. It's affordability. It mainly affects more of the finance buyer.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Unless you have some major life event, like no one's not going to get divorced because they have a 3% mortgage.
Oh yeah. So we're seeing the inventory that needs to go.
So some people are still going to sell, but yeah, the people who would kind of like to move, when they see that payment, they're choosing between staying in the home that they're in or paying a lot more per month for less house.
Stay in and remodeling.
Right, exactly. So what do you think? What are your predictions for 2024?
Prices to go up average 3 to 5. I think the appreciation will be a little bit more if the buyer demand comes back a little bit more. I think appreciation will be closer to the normal of the 3 to 5%, because we only saw prices go up like 2%. So I think it'll still go up a little, even a little higher. So if you're waiting for some
apocalypse,
yeah, that would probably be the only way.
It's not coming yet.
Some like major outside factor, you know what I mean?
Right, exactly. Something that's unforeseeable,
Mm-hmm.
which you can't count on something unforeseeable happening when you get off the fence, when you do something, because it's not foreseeable.
So you have to do what's right for you,
right,
and your family.
Although Grant Cardone was in the headlines this morning saying he thinks that there's going to be the largest reckoning ever with prices, and that everything's going to go way down. So he's probably looking to increase his portfolio, so he wants to put fear into people so they'll lower their prices.
That's a strategy.
Yeah, or he's getting ready to undergo evaluation. And
well, I think we're different than the rest of the country a little bit.
That's true. So what makes us different? I mean, we're recovering from a hurricane.
When some people got over Florida, because there's a lot of people over it and have left, there's a lot of other people that want to give it a shot.
Right. And also we have 0% state income tax and sunshine and 70-degree weather in December. Even though we're wearing jackets, we're just wearing jackets for fashion.
68.
It's 69 degrees right now.
Oh,
yeah. Sunshine.
Chilly 69.
I'm still not wearing socks.
The week before Christmas.
Yeah. What do you think is going to be the hardest thing about being a real estate agent in 2024?
Working harder and longer.
Yeah.
To get the same results or to get better results.
Right. Yeah.
And consistency is the only thing that's going to get you you'll have results.
I agree with you. We've had a nice little break because it was crazy. This year's been a nice little break from the craziness, depending on how you look at it. Some people don't like that. They're freaking out, but I think it's nice.
And I feel like we've been saying the same thing for this whole last 3 months, but that's what it takes, I think, for everybody to get in the idea that it's not a freak out time. It's just a normal transition.
Right. Well, everybody has amnesia. They think like every September, October, the market slows down and they freak out. You know, we haven't had that in the last 3 years because of COVID. But what we've experienced over the last few months has been totally normal. And then you have the slowest period of time from Thanksgiving to Christmas because most people who are here have much more busy schedules and better things to do than go out and look at houses unless they're really serious and they have to get into a house.
Yeah, or they think because they know that things aren't moving as fast, so instead they'll address it whenever they
right.
next year.
True. Or they're busy celebrating Christmas.
Oh yeah.
Doing all that traveling, having family in town. So we find with our listings that the number of showings go way down, but the people who are out looking at houses are really serious. And then come January, when all the snowbirds come back to Florida, they're ready to put their house on the market, then the market takes off. We have more inventory and more buyers.
And then if the interest rates fall in line with that, then it'll probably just excite things a little more.
Right.
Well, it will. Won't probably.
Right. Right. I agree with you. I think we're going to see the truest season that we've seen in 5 years in terms of the population influx and prices and activity. And then we have an election year in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
So everything I think will freeze up and fear and concern. But the Democrats might stimulate the economy a lot in order to give optimism and hope for a re-election. And that might include some of the strategy of reducing interest rates. My theory, conspiracy theory there.
It makes sense.
Yeah. So what else?
And locally, we're getting back here to more of a seasonal, people excited about, you know, like Margaritaville opening.
Yes.
And even though there's still a lot more work to be done, I think that it's going to bring a lot more action and spirit.
Right.
That was kind of like not the situation last spring break.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're right. There's a place to go.
Yeah, like it's definitely going to be a draw, and all the other things are going to come with it.
Right.
They're going to discover it again, and, you know.
Which will raise prices on the mainland because everyone will come down to vacation, go to Fort Myers Beach, love it, and want to buy a piece of paradise. And
we're not saying it's
start
like all the way, but it's like.
Right. It's getting there.
Yeah.
It's 5 o'clock.
Somewhere.
Yeah. And we're in our brand new office filming today.
Yes.
We're sitting in the corner of the building watching the busy traffic going by on Summerlin with Florida Southwestern University right across the street from us. It's beautiful.
It's so comfortable in here.
Mm-hmm. I think we're good. Deuces.